And it's from that trauma or rejection that actually happened before you were age 7 that those emotions are trying to come up and out. And you need to create that energetic space so that you are open to receiving more and then being willing to be able to hold more in abundance. I used to deliver the Chicago Sun-Times and Tribune before school, and I used to take people's newspapers and I would read the business section because I was so interested in finance. I didn't grow up with any money, but then I learned to, I went to undergrad at the University of Illinois and I started my own financial planning business when I was 22 and decided to take my finance degree and put it to work. And because we have so much opportunity in this country to be able to do it, but what we don't realize is that all of our money patterns come from our subconscious mind. And then it led me to wound up getting my graduate degree at the University of Notre Dame and then went on my publishing journey. So my first book was called The Emotion Behind Money, which certainly that has a lot to do with our mental health. And so it's been very fascinating to see how my industry has really butted up against that over the years because my industry being strong left-brainers are like, wow, this is all about the numbers and efficiencies. And I'm going, yeah, but there's the human heart, which is the other component there, and all of our wiring and our subconscious mind. And we have to create this coherence between our heart and our heads, or else we wind up with a lot of anxiety or depression around our financial situations. And we don't realize how much that really plays a part in all of our lives.
That's so true. I just recently did a podcast interview all about mindset. And we talked about how your mindset can impact your career choices, your finances, your relationships, your mental and physical health in general. And
for sure.
So I like that you connect that because a lot of people like to only think it's about the numbers. It's about how hard I work. It's about how much I make. It's more than that, right?
Oh, it's way more than that. Like we have to understand, there's an organization called heartmath.org, and they have actually done the research that the strongest magnet on the earth is the human heart. And the problem is so many of the things that we do to create cash flow for us has nothing to do with our heart. It has to do with what we have to provide and a good job and a good salary. But what we don't realize is that we actually create disease in our bodies when we aren't aligning our hearts with our paychecks. And a lot of people go like, well, how do I do that? Because many of us are pigeonholed into lifestyles. And that's the problem. Because we're trying to clean up our financial past, which are all of our debts, while we're trying to also live in the present moment and then think about tomorrow and how do I retire or send my kids to school or all this other stuff. And it's like, wow, we are really being squeezed from cleaning up our financial past, living in the present moment and planning for the future all at the same time. And it's a tough one.
Yeah, a lot of people are just on that rat race. They're not really feeling aligned. It's like a survival mode, right? Like I just have to put food on the table, take care of my family. I don't have time to be aligned.
Right. They have to get off the treadmill.
Right. Well, talk about that survival mindset because a lot of people they feel like it's a luxury, but talk about how having good financial planning can actually ease a lot of anxiety and stress, making them more efficient and more productive, and ultimately probably creating more financial security in their lives.
Right. Well, I mean, our survival instincts just kick in. Again, before every single one of us is 7 years old, our financial patterns start to hardwire into our subconscious mind and our amygdalas. And so the way that we respond to the external world on anything, but particularly also our finances, is that we actually respond because of our experiences before age 7, 97% of the time. And that's what we don't realize. So consciously, we may not want to actually create those patterns, but we do. And why do we do it? Because we're running on autopilot, because our brain has two operating systems, our conscious mind and our subconscious mind. And it's the subconscious mind that's really pushing the engine 97% of the time. So it's so important that when you start to see, like, whether you had a lack there of money growing up, or debt structures, or there was no money talk in your house growing up, this is all scarcity mindset. And it all has to do with how we emotionally process. Like, do we feel like we're worthy of the money? Do we feel like we're enough, that we are deserving? Are you open to receiving? If you have anxiety around money and your nervous system is hijacked and you're like closed up, guess what? Your pineal gland in the middle of your brain is your lighthouse. And if your nervous system is hijacked and with anxiety or depression around money, which creates scarcity, your light has been dimmed because your nervous system is actually your regulator as to what you're manifesting and attracting. And we don't realize that we really, truly are the creators of our lives, and our emotions have everything to do with it. So if you're frustrated, if you're angry, if you're sad, those are all low vibrating emotions because everything works on frequency and energy. But if you love your job and you are happy and you're joyful, guess what? You're going to get the pay raises. You're going to get the opportunities and the new jobs functions. You're going to get bonuses because your vibration is higher and you're going to attract more to you. And that scarcity piece, misery loves company. So we have to be careful as to what are the company we keeping? What are the emotions that we have? What are our limiting beliefs or our beliefs about money? And what are the words that come out of your mouth about your money? These are all components that actually create your financial reality.
People don't realize how much their mindset and the self-talk and the negative perceptions they have impact them. And so for people that might think this is all too woo-woo, can you break it down? I never understood how people can say, well, I always had a ceiling of I'm only worthy of $100,000, that as soon as I would start making a little bit more than that, I'd sabotage myself so I can come back to what's comfortable for me.
For
so
sure.
Can you explain how, a lot of people are of course I would want more money in my life, but how do we sabotage ourselves, and how does our mindset come into effect and stopping us from getting what we want, even though that's what we want, but we sabotage ourselves?
Right. So I want us to think about it in two different ways. There is abundance. You can have income affluence. So you've gotten the job, you've got cash flow and money's rolling in the door. But there's a second component, which is asset affluence or abundance, because there's the income side and then there's the asset side. So many of us, particularly in the United States, have figured out how to be income affluent, but we haven't figured out how to be asset affluent because we're living these lifestyles. And as our pay raises go up, we get the better car, the better house, everything. So what you're doing is you're creating a lifestyle, which is actually creating your own financial prison for yourself is what you're doing, because you're not creating any space or insulation to start to learn how to actually hold money in abundance. And what I mean by that is the fact that think of a lottery winner, let's just say they win $5 million. So they win $5 million. The statistics are off the charts in the high 90s that within 5 years, all of that lottery money is gone. Why? Because they don't know how to hold money in abundance. They don't know how to be asset affluent. Think of it like building a muscle in the gym. You can't go in and go to bench press 200 pounds if you've not been bench pressing at all. You won't be able to even push it up. The same thing happens with our muscle memory when it comes to holding money in abundance. So if you're hitting that ceiling, what it is you actually need to create energetic space and be opening to receive. And so some of the assignments that I'll give some of my clients is okay, I want you to take a $100 bill and I want you to put that $100 bill in your wallet, and under no circumstance do I want you to spend it. People will look at me and they will say, what does this have anything? I just want you to tell me how to manage my retirement money better. I'm going, okay, but what you keep doing is you keep building up your retirement money, and then you take a 401k loan to pay off your spending because you have a spending problem and you get spending hangovers. And what will happen by sticking that $100 bill actually in your wallet and don't spend it is Benjamin Franklin, who's on the $100 bill, will start talking to you. Because what you're up against is your emotions that are actually stuffed inside of your physical body. You're triggering those emotions of, I don't feel enough. I don't feel like I'm worthy of more money, whatever, or I don't feel loved, because that's how we're processing emotionally. And it's from that trauma or rejection that actually happened before you were age 7, that those emotions are trying to come up and out. And you need to create that energetic space so that you are open to receiving more and then being willing to be able to hold more in abundance. Do you want to experience free coaching based on my 25 plus years as being a financial planner and ask me any question that you want to ask me to help you get past that hurdle in your financial world? I run these free workshops every other month to start to open you up to start to help you get to this next place. The information for my free workshop, click the link below and register, and I'll see you on the next workshop.